Today I'm going to show you how simple it is to create your own word art design. The first thing we're going to do is set our size. So I'm going to open up a new document and I'm going to give it a name, and this particular piece is going to be rustic looking. So we're going to have a wood grain background, some distressed text. It'll be a lot of fun. Let's call this one Distressed Word Art. And the size for my project is going to be 8 inches wide by 10 inches, and let's set this to 300 on our resolution. And now that we've got this up, I'm going to use the shape tool here, rectangle tool. Just click and drag and just undo that, start again. Make sure you have it set to paths for your text. So go ahead and start again. You click and drag, and then select your text tool, set to a color we can see, and then just paste your text. I'll go ahead and format my text so it's easier to work with for now. And the font style is entirely up to you. Sometimes you have a font in mind that you want to use, but it doesn't actually work with the background that you intend on using. So if you find that's the case, don't be afraid to change things up a bit. When you're working on a project like this, it's really important to keep your auto select box checked. As you can see, trying to move a layer without that checked is going to result in possibly an error like this. It'll save you a lot of time and frustration. Just check that box. And then the last thing I'm going to do is just center this. Simply select the layer you want to center along with the backgrounds. Come up here and you can align horizontal centers by just clicking right there. It'll make sure that you are right in the middle. Okay, now that we have our words set, let's select a background. This is going to be a wood grain type of background. Let's go to our brushes. Fortunately, Adobe Creative has a large number free for commercial use. I'm going to select a color. So this is going to determine the actual color of our wood grain. And what we're going to do is create a new layer, and let's move that down below the text. I'm going to go to my brush window, open that up, and under brush tip shape you can actually change the angle of your brush. So I'm going to set that to 90 degrees, and that should be perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and, with this layer selected, I'm going to scale it up just slightly. So let's begin working on our text and see what we can do to make this pop a little bit more. As you can see, without that wood grain, it's quite easy to read. Once we apply the wood grain, it's really difficult to make out. And one thing you can do is apply a soft vignette. Now, if your font style is giving you problems, you may find it's best to change your font style altogether. Sometimes you have the liberty to actually manipulate the wording. So I've changed my line to "when I first saw you." I just think it works a little bit better with the composition of this piece. Another thing I want to do is add a little bit of an illustration. And before I do, I'm going to make a new layer. It looks like I don't have a heart brush, so I'm going to use a heart shape instead. Shapes are also available at Adobe Creative and many other places, free for commercial use. to give this that rustic and distressed look, let's change our text up just a little bit more. Again, before we do, we need to rasterize our text. So select your text layer, and you can just right click on that and go to rasterize type. Now, one of the problems with aging your text is that you can lose your readability if you go too far. So I've duplicated my rasterized text layer, and I'm going to distress one text layer at a time. And using the same brush that we used for our background, our wood grain texture. And the last touch we're going to do is apply a distressed look to our little graphic, our heart. If you're still not happy with the way your wording pops, then I would recommend adding a drop shadow. And we're finished with our distressed word art. Thanks for watching this tutorial, and good luck with your next project.